All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday, March 19th. Happy NIT Day. You got Butler playing Minnesota tonight, first round of the NIT tournament. Not the big dance, but hey, either way, we'll take it. I'm kidding, of course. Great to see Louise, Charlene, Margaret, the ladies of the trading room. Of course, a few more on top of them. I'm sure maybe Leda here, maybe Kathleen here, Ravina, Barbara, on top of course, the lady. We got Michael, we got Bill, we got Phil, we got all of our students and traders here in chat right now just joining us here. And if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., just Cyber Trading You on the lower left right there. On the upper left, you'll see a QR code. If you're interested at the end, just scan that QR code, get you live access to a week-long trial inside our trading room. But I'll tell you what, it's been a fun trade so far here, this SOUN stock. We called the stock out earlier. I think Chuck was on top of it even during our Traders Talk workshop. But at the end of it, we said, hey, we'll find a new trade, whether it be this, whether it be something else. I missed out on some good money on LICY during that workshop. Well, you happen to see this trade right here. We had lined it up pretty much at the end of our workshop Traders Talk, and I was saying, well, 824 would need to be support. And that was pretty much at the time of Traders Talk concluding. So from there, it did push off of it. But at that point, it ended up providing another chance. And that's what we were looking for just heading into the early to mid-afternoon. So, right at 1:01 Eastern, I wrote to you, SON held resistance at 865, looking for support at 824. There's the call out at 112 saying, went under and over that 824 so far with my sunglass emoji, just showing that to all of our students in chat there. Now, from there, it made a good push, right? I wanted more. It didn't give it to me. I'm out. I took my money and ran just as it was pulling back to 850. So I'm pretty happy with this trade so far. And there could still be room to get back in if it could break above that 865 pretty cleanly coming up. So you know what, SOUN, we love this stock. Anytime it's moving up, it's up percentage-wise. We're a fan of it. Chuck had a great call out earlier, and so we're going to see if this can keep going here, SOUN. All right, so that's on our watch list. Now, I'd normally go on our gainers list here right away, my custom TradeStation gainers list, that is. It's easy to just go through. But Michael here in the chat saying GIL popped and I got halted. Was that Gilead or Gildan? Ooh, no, I'm thinking GILD, right? That's Gilead. GIL, though, this is the one that Michael's calling out right here. So it looks like it popped up pretty nicely. And it's not a volatility halt, that's for sure, because it would have moved that much faster beforehand. It actually made a great pop, but it got halted probably because of news, right? It's already up 10%. So, you know what? Great call from Michael. I'm going to find this anyway on the gainer side just as we went through, but GIL, better to find this now than later. So, jumps after report of takeover approaches. So, buy the rumor, sell the news. Is that what we're thinking here? So, GIL, I'm going to add to our watch list as well. Good start so far, though, between SOUN and now GIL. All right, let's run it from top to bottom here, though. We'll kind of jack up this volume criteria. All right, FUSN. What happens here, folks? What's the news out on this stock? Just you can see it's very flat after a gap up. What's the news out on this company here? At least if you can guess, for all of our students in chat. Go over this in our phase 1 stock course, just when we talk about news. What do you think the news is out on this company, FUSN? Probably have some egg on my face if I was wrong here, but my assumption would be buyout. That would be my assumption. Let's see. I'll pop up the news right here. FUSN trading higher after the company announced it entered into a definitive agreement to be acquired by AstraZeneca. So it is a buyout, but they didn't really list as far as the actual price per share transaction. Didn't list it here in this headline, but that is the actual news out on this company there, buyout. So we're not going to trade it. Just wanted to kind of go over that with you, show you. STRC, this probably is not a buyout. It's moving pretty nicely up, then down, then back up. A bit of a spread here at times, just given how cheap it is. So I'll even come back to this at the end. Just run through the gainer side otherwise, see if there's anything looking even better. Let me zoom out here at least pretty quickly there. Go back to that NKGN. Had a nice run actually just before heading into the late morning, early afternoon, but lower highs now. This is the one I missed out on from earlier. I took 5 cents profit on it. I had to wash out a small loss I had earlier on WORX, and I took my 5 cents and I ran on this. Should have held on. Should have held on. That was my mistake of the day. So, Lysy here ended up exploding after it actually made the perfect freaking move that we were expecting for it to, at least on the initial test of that price, 140, for it to make this breakout run up towards big resistance at 183. We were going over that in our Traders Talk workshop. So even though I personally took my money and ran way too early, just to be honest with you, we still called out the level real time and said, hey, likely it's going to at least hold off 183, if not from there make the pop and drop. So ended up falling back down. I guess you could have had support here, but when it's already dumped off this much, I'm done with it pretty much at that point myself. So lower high, drop down, bit of a lower low there. AT&M, nice chart, really nice chart, but bad order book, and that'll be a big theme here for this gainer side today. Ooh, not so much for very actually, with a decent spread. The stock we've done pretty well on dating back to the end of last week. Had dropped off pretty nicely yesterday, but right back on the way up today. So, hey, as far as what we teach here at CTU, obviously it's nice to know the news. For the curious minds, it's fun to look it up, right? When we have the time and we're not in trades, we will look it up. And for this meeting's sake, you know what? One more time, we'll go back to Benzinga Pro. I'll show you the news here, but do we need to know the news in order to trade VERI and at least day trade it, know where iceberg levels are, support resistance? No, we don't. As long as the stock is within our price range, it's trading very good volume across the total day. And of course, on the order book, level 3, level 4, has good spread, has good order book out there entirely, icebergs that you could identify with as support resistance. So dating back to last week, it looks just like better than expected Q4, issued Q1 guidance. So that sounds like a good headline, obviously. Made a big push so far, basically from sub 2 up to 4 and change. And yeah, Vary I'll add to our list now as well. Hard not to. All right, we keep it going though. Atos, not terrible trade here, rounding off at 150. Not terrible. It's up nearly 15%. I could add this trade, more of a level 1, level 2 stock at that, but we'll keep going for now. This IP stock, I thought someone mentioned this in our Traders Talk workshop too, that they were in it, I guess. Off to a good pop. Just for right now, for a $38 stock, you want something like, not to say even moving faster, you don't want something cheaper moving just as strong as that IP. Better bang for the buck. Real, you can kind of see this teasing this, pop here, making higher lows as it's moving up to that high there, roughly off 340. Look at the volume filled at 340 there on the right side. That's a strong level. That's basically the same pattern that I used on the Lysy stock that I actually missed out on a bunch of money. So if this breaks above 340 here, this could be a good idea, not just to jump in, but to hold into that trade so long as 340 holds as support. I have faith in the level. Even myself, as much as I try and do that on every trade I take, I'm as much of a human being as you are. So, sometimes you get scared out of a trade. You pull the trade before it stops you out. It's like, I should have held it. That's what happened earlier. Now, ENVX here, this stock had a pretty good day today. It's been taking a huge hit just dating back to February and a long time after, actually before that. So, even this, I'm not really seeing anything too great on this trade for right now. VKTX, for as much of a jump as this stock had back last month, it's pretty volatile for today at least, right? So, if you've done well on this stock personally back then or over the last year, you know who you are. I'd rather just focus on a trade that's more liquid, better price range. Groupon trying to make a nice recovery, I guess, dating back to Thursday last week, or even that was Friday perhaps. But man, there's a lot of as the kids would say nowadays, a lot of mid, a lot of not really too many stocks that are really A plus, that are really setting themselves up for a great push. You got a bunch of stocks that are tradable, a bunch of stocks that maybe, potentially, possibly could go. I don't like that. So, that's where I say, if you're unsure about trading a stock, if you're unsure about what you should do on a certain trade, guess what? I think that you're pretty sure then, because when it comes to risking our money, we're not just trying to throw a dart against the wall and hope it lands, right? So it's better to even just to kind of avoid them for the time being, maybe come back to them at the end if we need to. jack up my volume criteria here. SMR, you knew this thing eventually would come back down to planet Earth. So, for as much as this ran, it's still even holding higher lows on the daily chart, but, down 35% today. So you knew that was coming. You knew this was coming here on Pixie as well. My easiest call out just in our trading room each day. What makes the top percent gainers list one day typically makes the percent losers list the next. If it's not the next day, it's the day after, right? MDAI. So stock ended up just dropping right off there from yesterday into today. Yeah, JL, my namesake stock. This thing is not good. I don't want to represent myself with JL going forward. Beyond Meat, even this actually, it's making a bit of a dead cat bounce right now, but it's not down enough percentage-wise to even tempt me. All right, so I'll tell you what, maybe we'll find a stronger bounce if it's like a crypto stock, perhaps, maybe like a CLSK, maybe a Mara. These have had some good runs to them across the late morning, early afternoon, right? They're tradable. Really, when we're kind of unsure if there's anything that we can trade, it would be to kind of resort to our side list stocks. Side list stocks like Tesla even. This isn't even looking as strong of late, but it's trying to get back up to the session highs. All right, so back to Benzinga one more time. Uno Mas, just go across our scan here, see if there's anything looking good from that side. Works, Very, CGC maybe. All right, we'll run through a couple of those. And then again, if you're on social media or if you're inside our live trading room, Brad, Kathleen, Michael, Abdul, or all of us just otherwise, let me know if there's any other stocks that you want me to look at or check out. Jump back to Benzinga there, the CGC. All right, I'll tell you, it's squeezing up nice for the afternoon session here. So that I really appreciate. So CGC, we're going to add to our watch list. MSOS pot ETF, MJ pot ETF, both not really doing too much. Tilray is not doing anything. ACB, it's kind of going with CGC there. It's kind of going with it. But let me ask you, which one's up more percentage-wise? Now, if you're wondering why I'm asking that question, it's because yesterday I was telling you that CGC, to me, is the more volatile of the two. So I thought the last cycle had made a much more explosive move compared to like any of the other pot stocks, including this one. So hey, ACB's moving up a little bit. I like the CGC a lot more. That's the one we're going to focus on if we're going to like choose any of those pot stocks. If that MPU works, Vince, all of these are looking kind of garbage. So honestly here, folks, just from Benzinga, that's all I got. If there's anything else looking good just across the board, just type it in. Going once, going twice. I'll tell you what, we're pre-Fed meeting too, so there's not a whole lot else out there, really. The market's been kind of slumping off a little bit at first, had a good rebound. It's at the highs, but I really don't feel like we're seeing as much traction across the whole market. Like, there's still a lot more ground that AMD needs to do in order to get back towards like break even. I guess NVIDIA's having a damn good day. Maybe NVIDIA I can kind of put on our list there in particular, just because they're also doing their NVIDIA Tech Conference week, right? They got today and yesterday, and I think even into tomorrow. So maybe NVIDIA will kind of feature on our list for that reason. It's holding stronger with the market compared to some of the other stocks we've been looking at. All right, but otherwise, SOUN, Gill, Very, CGC, and I'll be back in the mic at 3 o'clock, folks, for all of us in chat right now. Luis, Grant, Abdul, Sam, Michael, all of us. And we'll see what else is out there. At that point, we'll scan. I'd start and stick with this watch list here, and then we'll go from that point. All right, so for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, again, just on the lower left, at Cyber Trading U. As we always say, be a friend, tell a friend. Look to spread the good word of Cyber Trading University, educating all of our students here, at least, on how to follow the big money using level 3 and level 4. So if you're interested in taking the next step, joining us inside our live trading room, just scan that QR code on the top left, not the top right. Got it right this time there, my dyslexia. Top left, you should be good to go. Just scan that QR code. Join us for a week-long trial inside our live trading room. We look forward to seeing you there. Talk to everybody there soon. Take care.